So I imagine this. You're juggling two important tasks and suddenly someone throws a third thing at you. That's sort of what's happening with Google's Site Reliability Engineering or SRE teams.
Interesting, Hu Tao. What exactly are these tasks they're juggling?
Well, SRE teams balance between working on projects to improve systems and reacting to immediate operational tasks, like fixing problems as they come up.
That sounds like quite the balancing act. What happens when they can't keep up with this balance?
That's when things get dicey. When ticket volumes, those urgent tasks, skyrocket, the balance tips, and suddenly they're overwhelmed, leading to something called operational overload.
Operational overload. Is that like when one of Raiden Shogun's devices overheats from overuse?
Exactly. Overheat, not in a literal sense, but teams get so bogged down that their usual work and improvements grind to a halt. It's like being stuck in a never-ending loop of urgent fixes.
I see. And does this affect the teams in some particular way?
Oh yes. It affects both the people and the systems. The team risks burnout, mental exhaustion. Meanwhile, the system's scalability and reliability suffer, because no one's focusing on long-term improvements.
Scalability and reliability. Those sound like key aspects for maintaining a stable environment. How does ignoring these aspects impact a service?
Imagine trying to host a festival without enough performers or backup plans. Your crowd would be disappointed, right? Similarly, if a system isn't scalable, it can't efficiently handle more user requests. And if it's unreliable, it might collapse under pressure, much like a wobbly staged during a big performance.
That does sound disastrous. So how do they usually manage this balance when the tickets keep pouring in?
Typically, SREs split their time evenly between proactive projects and reactive ops work. But too many tickets mean they might spend all their time just firefighting.
Firefighting? I suppose you mean continuously responding to crises without addressing underlying issues?
You've got it. They're so busy putting out fires that they can't install better fire prevention systems. It's a dangerous cycle.
And this operational overload, how lasting is its impact on the team?
The impact can stretch over months, pushing back important projects and innovations. This can stifle growth and lead to a rather dull, repetitive process.
Dull processes do not inspire much confidence or creativity. So has Google come up with any solutions to mitigate this issue?
They have processes in place. But first, it's crucial to recognize when a team is about to slide into operational overload.
Recognizing the signs. Is that about observing the volume of ticket inflow or other indicators?
Definitely watching the ticket volume is one way, but also monitoring team morale and progress on key projects gives insight.
Progress on key projects? Is that something like tracking the completion of objectives within their projects?
Exactly. If those start lagging consistently because all attention is on emergency fixes, it's a red flag.
So once these signs are identified, what steps might they take to restore balance?
Stay tuned, The next part covers some innovative strategies like embedding SREs within teams to improve practices, rather than just tackling immediate problems.
Embedding? I'm curious about what that entails. It sounds like a proactive shift.
You're on the right track, but that's a whole conversation for next time.
Understood. The challenge seems multifaceted, with implications for team dynamics and service performance alike.
Precisely. It's all about maintaining balance and ensuring that no aspect of their work suffers too much from the overload.
A demanding task indeed. I shall ponder on the measures to prevent such overloads till we discuss more strategies.
Sounds like a plan. Let's keep these gears in motion and dive deeper soon.
I look forward to it, Hu Tao. There is always much to learn from strategic planning in such vast systems. Hu Tao, you mentioned embedding SREs. How does this strategy work to counter operational overload?
Embedding is like introducing a new melody into a song to refresh and elevate it.
When an SRE joins an overloaded team, the goal is to improve their practices instead of just tackling the endless tickets.
So it's more about changing the process than about addressing each individual ticket.
Exactly. By focusing on practices, they aim to prevent the root causes of overload, paving the way for long-term efficiency instead of quick, temporary fixes.
I'm curious, how does this SRE go about analyzing existing processes?
First, they observe. Shadowing the team's daily routine and inspecting how they handle issues gives insights into quirks and potential improvements.
Observation. It sounds like a delicate task. How do they ensure their presence doesn't cause defensiveness within the team?
Therein lies the art. They approach with an open mind, focusing on being supportive rather than critical. It's about suggesting improvements gently rather than pointing fingers.
And what about the team's habits? Are these significant in dealing with operational overload?
Absolutely. Healthy work habits can drastically reduce the time spent on tedious ticket handling. Promoting these habits is just as crucial as eliminating inefficiencies.
I see. Are there specific habits that are encouraged?
Habits like regular, constructive retrospectives, continuous learning, and prioritizing automation can help a team maintain balance and avoid ops mode.
Ops mode. How does that differ from their regular operations?
Ops mode is when a team functions more reactively, constantly firefighting and managing issues as they arise, instead of ensuring scalability and resilience ahead of time.
So embedding an SRE aims to preemptively address these issues before the team slips into ops mode.
Yes. By refining practices, the team isn't just reacting but evolving to better handle increasing demands without burning out.
Fascinating. Does embedding more than one SRE accelerate improvements?
Not necessarily. Interestingly, adding more SREs might lead to defensive behavior and doesn't always yield better results. It's quality over quantity.
That is intriguing. Are there particular qualities in an SRE that make them well suited for embedding?
An embedded SRE needs to be observant, empathetic, and adept at communicating complex ideas simply, much like a skilled conductor leading an orchestra.
So they orchestrate change delicately yet effectively. It's quite a task.
It is, and that's why it's important for them to strike the right balance between supporting the team and guiding them towards self-improvement.
Guidance and support. Sounds harmonious. What does success look like for an embedded SRE?
Success is when the team starts naturally integrating healthier work practices, reducing tickets, and improving their service without constant SRE intervention.
And once this harmony is achieved, does the SRE continue to play a role?
They step back gradually, offering assistance when needed, much like a maestro who has trained the orchestra well enough to perform flawlessly on its own.
That's a beautiful metaphor. Yet this approach sounds quite comprehensive.
It truly is AI. And it all starts with understanding and adapting the team's existing rhythm before suggesting a new melody.
Does this embedded approach have broader implications for managing team dynamics?
A keen perception. Yes, it can transform team dynamics by fostering collaboration and innovation while mitigating stress.
Mitigating stress, a subtle but vital aspect. How does one ensure the team remains receptive to this approach?
It boils down to trust and showing quick wins to build confidence. The team needs to see tangible benefits from the SRE's insights.
I understand. I'm eager to hear more about this in our continued discussions.
Stay tuned, there's more rhythm to uncover as we explore this fascinating blend of processes and people.
I am prepared to delve deeper. Lead the way, Hu Tao. Hu Tao, I'm intrigued about how one might identify and resolve sources of stress in a situation like operational overload.
Spotting stressors is key, It's not just about what's going wrong now, but also about what could go wrong soon.
We call those future issues kindling. Imagine them as unsparked flares in a field.
Kindling. They sound like potential pitfalls waiting to ignite chaos. How does one accurately identify such sources?
It's a bit like ghost hunting. You look at history, examine the team's past challenges, and see which problems recur or remain unresolved. This helps in spotting patterns leading to stress.
So it's about analyzing past data and outcomes. Are there specific patterns that indicate a team may be slipping into this ops mode you mentioned earlier?
Ops mode kicks in when a team's stuck in reactive loops, constantly battling fires instead of fostering growth.
Think of it like trying to run a marathon while only ever sprinting in short bursts.
A constant cycle of urgent reactions rather than planning. That must be exhausting in the long run. How does improving postmortem practices aid in alleviating this stress?
Postmortems, when done right, are like a guiding light. They help teams dissect past incidents, not to assign blame but to learn how to avoid similar pitfalls.
It's a reflection to spot and smooth out wrinkles in their approach.
Reflective learning. It's about mastering intricate details to prevent recurrence, I see. What distinguishes effective postmortems from those that fall short?
Effective ones are blameless and thorough. They don't just say who did what, but unravel why it happened and how the system allowed it to happen. The goal is insight, not indictment.
Insight over indictment, wise indeed. And once the fires are identified, how should they be classified to tackle toil effectively?
Fires can either be avoidable toil, a chore that automation can curb, or necessary work that's part of the job. Classifying them helps teams know where to focus efficiency efforts or maintain readiness.
Necessary fires. Those that come with the territory then. How does one determine which fires truly need contending with, and which can be extinguished for good?
Exactly. Necessary fires are handled with readiness tactics and tools. Avoidable ones should be automated or optimized away.
Identifying them requires a keen eye on repeating issues with no real return on attention spent.
Tools and readiness. It's about equipping oneself for anticipated challenges, isn't it? What role do service-level objectives or SLOs play in supporting such classifications?
SLOs act like a compass, guiding teams towards desired reliability. They quantify what's acceptable in terms of service performance, helping prioritize which tasks fit within or impair those goals.
A compass for reliability. Interesting. Does this classification and prioritization improve team dynamics as well?
You bet. It unburdens teams by aligning their efforts with value-driven tasks, reducing stress and confusion about priorities. Clarity does wonders for harmony.
Indeed, clarity fosters unity and ease. What about future kindling? How can teams effectively address such potential emergencies?
Teams should anticipate kindling by identifying knowledge gaps, dependencies on looming changes, or quiet services gaining importance. Addressing these proactively tames potential chaos.
It requires foresight and preparation. How do knowledge gaps within a team contribute to this stress, and what's the remedy?
Knowledge gaps breed overspecialization and tunnel vision, leaving blind spots. Cross-training, documentation, and sharing responsibilities help bridge these gaps, fostering resilience.
Cross-training to prevent blind spots. It ensures wider awareness. Suppose a team is heavily reliant on prospective next big things. How does this mindset threaten stability?
Relying too much on future solutions can make teams neglect immediate fixes, leading to accumulated issues. It's like ignoring current festival details because you're focused on next year's grand event.
A future focus can detract from present efficacy. So emphasizing present improvements balances the forward-looking excitement.
Precisely. Striking a balance between current vigilance and future readiness is key. This way you're steadily elevating both service quality and team morale.
Balance enhances service quality and morale. Are there any particular service issues that tend to sneak past unnoticed due to lacking a formal SLI, SLO, or SLA?
Yes, services in this gray area might run amok before attention catches up. Without formal metrics, their impact can quietly grow unchecked due to lack of proper monitoring.
Monitoring and formal metrics seem essential in illuminating these shadowed aspects. How can teams adopt such practices?
They should start with clear service definitions and set tangible objectives. Consistent revisitation and adjustment of these metrics keep them relevant as the service evolves.
Consistent revisitation. Regular checks ensure continuous alignment. It all sounds vital for long-term service resilience.
Service resilience goes hand in hand with proactive strategy. And as teams build these practices, they naturally start handling stress sources before they flare into crises, achieving a stable service harmony.
Proactive with strategies and insights, harmony in service. It's quite the cultivated approach, Hu Tao.
Cultivation takes attention and care. Stay with me, we're just delving into the beat of these rhythms.
Rhythm and cultivation, a dance with strategy and foresight. Lead on, Hu Tao. I'm eager to continue unraveling these melodies. Hu Tao, tell me, how do SREs drive change and ensure that teams maintain their improvements over time?
It's like planting seeds in a garden. You start with setting solid foundations, like creating service-level objectives or SLOs, which are key to cultivating healthy practices.
Service-level objectives. We've touched on this before. How do they contribute to change?
They act as a guiding star. SLOs provide measurable goals for service performance, ensuring everyone knows the target for reliability and availability, aligning all efforts towards these benchmarks.
Measurable goals indeed provide clarity of purpose. Aside from SLOs, what other practices are crucial?
Documenting insights is crucial. Sharing knowledge helps prevent repeating past mistakes and strengthens the team's collective wisdom.
Documenting that assures knowledge continuity. Is there a preferred way to present these insights?
The focus should be on clarity, making documentation accessible and understandable, much like a good recipe shared with fellow chefs.
Accessible and clear. And once these insights are documented, how do SREs ensure their decisions are understood?
By explaining their reasoning thoroughly, of course. It's like telling a story with all its chapters, ensuring everyone sees the complete picture, not just the conclusion.
Thorough explanations. I suppose that invites both clarity and trust. How does this approach support the team's growth?
When everyone understands the reasoning, they can make informed decisions independently. This strengthens the team's foundation even after the SRE steps back.
I see. So the team learns to independently maintain their rhythm, as you might put it?
Exactly. It's about equipping them with the tools and insights to handle both old and new challenges.
Handling challenges independently. And what role does an after-action report play in this continuity?
Think of it as a map of progress. It outlines what worked, what didn't, and offers strategies for future improvement. It's an anchor for the lessons learned during the SRE's tenure.
A map of progress. It sounds invaluable for maintaining direction. How detailed should this report be?
It should be comprehensive yet concise, highlighting critical decisions and actions, like a stage director noting every twist in the play.
Concise and comprehensive, an art in itself. Once the SRE concludes their period, do they continue any involvement with the team?
Absolutely. They remain a part of the team's support network, ready for design or code reviews, ensuring that the music they've helped compose continues harmoniously.
Continual support, even from afar. It's reassuring. How do they measure if their efforts truly take root in the team?
By observing gradual improvements in capacity planning, emergency responses, and rollout processes over the following months.
Gradual improvements, a sign of sustained practice. And are there any specific indicators that signal success?
A decrease in urgent ticket volume, better resource management, increased team morale, and a more proactive approach to challenges.
Proactivity and morale enhancement, indeed a harmonious outcome. Do SREs face any common challenges even after embedding concludes?
Reversion is a risk, where teams might slip back into old habits. Continual engagement and observation help counteract this tendency.
Reversion, a potential backslide then. Ensuring continuity seems as vital as initiating change.
Rightly so, it's about maintaining the tempo and ensuring the symphony of change keeps playing strong.
A symphony realized through diligent effort and mindful support. It's a testament to enduring teamwork.
It truly is. Together they not only respond to present issues but also fortify their strategy for future challenges.
Resilience built for both present and future. A noble goal achieved through embedded strategy.
Precisely, and it's this noble goal that ensures the team's dance with operational demands remains graceful and robust.
With such harmony achieved, teams can truly excel. Thank you, Hu Tao, for enlightening me with this symphony of operations.
A pleasure, as always. Until our next melody of insights, may your endeavors resonate with success.